children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Boom! Welcome to the final guys plus final girl tonight. I'm Jason Brant. I am joined by neither one of the two idiots. They are out this week. Jack just turned 73. Today is his birthday, so everyone get in Twitter and wish him happy birthday. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. 73, remember that. Hunter is, I think he's got that peep show mopping thing going on. I'm not sure. He wasn't very clear. That's usually what it is. If you're wondering who the beautiful young lady is here, this is my wife, the tall one, who decided to help us out and step in today and deal with all of my bullshit. Hello, Erin.
Hi. From upstairs.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little weird. We did not have time to get her a proper microphone, so her audio could be a little weird. It's just running off her computer. And I noticed that her microphone is picking up my audio from a floor away, so there could be a little bit of an echo, too. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
All right. Now, for everyone who does not know, not only does Erin deal with my shit, she's also my first reader of all my books. She tells me how much they suck and what I need to fix, which always helps a lot. And This is her first podcast. And not only your first podcast, right, but first time ever really appearing on camera like this for anything.
This is the first time. I never allowed you to put me in front of the camera before.
I don't know why you agreed now, of all times. Could have been for something that actually meant something.
Yeah.
All right, so you've seen this terrible show multiple times, so you know how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to fill in for Jack here quickly and read a little bit of news, and we'll skip through this because, let's be honest, this is everyone's least favorite part because Jack does it. So, first up, Blumhouse has apparently filmed an Unfriended sequel in secret, and it's already finished in the can. They're just waiting on a release date. Unfriended Dark Web. Now, do you remember Unfriended?
No.
Is that why you're laughing?
No, I was laughing because the dog is getting into the dog toys.
Oh, I just heard that one. I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of dog sounds this whole time.
Unfriended, was that the one? Tell me. I have a memory of goldfish.
So everyone should know this. We watch a lot of movies, which does not help that your memory for movies is outstanding. Within 3 days, you forget it. So
within 3 days, yeah.
Dark Friended was the one that took place on a laptop screen with all the high school kids, and they bullied their friend until she committed suicide.
Oh, I do remember that.
And they all started getting killed. We went and saw it in the theater, and we both thought it was a really interesting film.
Yeah, it was. It was really interesting.
That's my phrase in the show. Everybody shits on me because I say.
Oh, is that it? Hashtag really interesting?
Yeah. Oh, hashtag.
Hashtag.
So they've done one of these in secret. They filmed it at SXSW, and apparently it's really good. So looking forward to seeing another movie shot on a MacBook. Then Blumhouse also has another movie coming out called Family Blood. It's a vampire flick that is going to drop on Netflix March 31st. So more free horror. Yay. And finally, from Scoop Dunnings, or as I like to call him, Scoops Dunnings, I think he's watching right now in the live stream. The Devil's Rejects sequel is filming. It's called 3 from Hell. Now, that probably doesn't mean anything to you because I never showed you the first movie, House of a Thousand Corpses.
That means nothing.
It is a mean, nasty horror film that I watched once in college, and I didn't ever care to watch it again. I have not watched the sequel, which everyone says is much better. And the third one's coming out, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's the Rob Zombie movies, and he makes really nasty films. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I have watched a couple of his movies, but we never watched that one.
Oh.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for the news. There was something else, but I already forget what it was, and I don't particularly care to look it up. So we're going to move on right away into our curation segment. So we're going to hit this bumper and be right back.
We have such sights to show you.
And I forgot, because I'm a genius, to go over the drinking rules for the episode that Sheridan did. So I'm going to hit those real quick. Mine were Garland, Portman, and Traits, and the tall ones are Alien, Energy, and Dogs. Oh, I already hit Dogs.
I got one!
And the bonus words for both of us are Shimmer, Science, and DNA. And for everyone watching or listening, I'm plowing through these segments because we're going to do something here called Ask the Tall One. Maybe in the middle, maybe at the end, where you can ask her whatever crap about how she deals with me.
I'm kind of nervous.
And we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
And the little curation segment here should be a little different than usual because you watch most of the crap with me that I go through.
Most.
So I'll jump into one right now that you have not been watching with me. I've been talking about the last couple episodes called The Core. It's basically a behind-the-scenes documentary type show where every episode they go into Halloween or they go into special effects and they talk to masters of the genre on how they do these things. And I've just been slowly working my way through them while you've been at work making money.
Is it really interesting?
It's really interesting. Shitting on me already. It's been 7 minutes. So I believe I actually just finished the last episode today, which was a tribute to Tobe Hooper and George Romero, the guys who directed The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Night of the Living Dead. They both died last year, so this was kind of a tribute to them, and it was great. I honestly believe this show is worth getting for Shudder alone, for any of you horror nerds, so definitely check it out. It's great. Finally finished with it. Then I wanted to jump into a movie you and I just watched this weekend, super quickly because it's not a horror film, but your reaction to it was horrific. We started watching Executive Decision.
Yeah.
The Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, Steven Seagal film from 1996.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said in the first 2 minutes of the film?
I asked you if it was Steven Seagal, but
You didn't ask it quite like that. You went, "Oh God, is this a Steven Seagal movie?" And I couldn't tell you that it wasn't without giving the big spoiler for about 20 minutes in. But your reaction was great.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Executive Decision, even though it's not a horror movie?
You know what? I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be maybe a little cliche, but I really liked it. I did. I really liked it. I was probably only like 50% watching it in the beginning because I'm like, oh, this is going to be like the typical. You can see it coming from a mile away. It's just gonna, But then it got really good. It was really good. I found myself.
When you saw Steven Seagal at the beginning running across the field like a fat three-legged man.
Yeah, rolled my eyes like, here we go. Like, I can pretty much tell you the whole movie before watching it. But
they actually did, I thought, a good job minimizing the douchiness of his fight scenes and everything. And he's really barely in the movie. So
barely.
Once he's gone, it kind of turns from an action movie into a, I don't even know how to put it. It's more of, I guess, just a straight thriller where they're trying to figure out how to solve this problem of the bomb on the plane. And not a whole lot of action for a good hour in the middle of it. And that's my favorite chunk of it.
Yeah, not really.
So you got to see yet another Kurt Russell movie. I've been going off about Kurt Russell ever since we met. So I'm a little surprised we never watched this.
Total bromance. Yeah, I you know what? And I was half expecting like Big Trouble in Little China. Like I just expect him to be funny. But I mean, he did have some humor, but it was a pretty serious role. He did a great job.
It's funny because most of his stuff, or I would say at least half, is not humorous. But I've made you watch Big Trouble in Little China about 80 times.
And over again.
So that's how you equate him.
Yeah. I see him as Jack Burton and no other. Like they are synonymous.
There's a reason for that. Wow. He's amazing in it. So that was Executive Decision. Then we watched a movie that I want you to describe. This gem we watched, someone, I don't know if it was in live chat or someone on Twitter recommended this movie to me a couple months ago, and we finally got around to grabbing a copy of it and checking it out. Nemesis from, was it 1990? I would love to hear you describe the storyline of Nemesis.
So here's the problem. My goldfish memory doesn't remember watching Nemesis.
That was 3 days ago.
No.
It's the one with the cyborg cop. Wow. Really? Yeah, the cyborg cop. At the beginning, there were all those tough-looking women shooting guns, chasing him, and we thought they might have been stunt women.
Oh, yeah. So I have
There
to
it is.
describe the story. I honestly, I mean, I kind of remember scenes, but I don't remember the whole story. I remember it being.
There's a reason you don't remember the whole
Odd.
story.
Oh.
It's so convoluted, it made no sense.
Oh, that was a setup. Okay, I feel
Yeah.
a little bit better.
No. That was just to see if you could even try to come
Put
up
it
with what
together.
that was. It had a bunch of really, really good fight scenes at the beginning with the guns, and they were blowing a ton of things up, and we thought, hey, this is going to be a fun B movie.
Yeah, it looked cool.
And then it just got so convoluted, we had no idea what was going on. He was a cop, then he was some kind of underground, was he an arms dealer or a drug dealer? And then he was a cop again, or a secret
we don't
agent. I couldn't tell you what happened in that movie. There was some fun stuff, but mostly it was just ridiculous.
I liked all the I liked all the women that played in it, though. I mean, they were believable, and you know my pet peeves about that. I go off. So
Explain your pet peeve, because you and I are the same way in this regard.
I cannot stand when there are women playing roles that look so waifish, like to run down the street like their legs are going to break in half, and yet they're supposed to be hauling guns around and sprinting down the street, taking down, these guys that are 250 pounds, just ridiculous stuff that they would never be able to do. I hate it. I hate it. Prime example is Angelina Jolie in Salt. I have always complained about that.
Yes, you have.
Always.
You
Yes,
remember
I have.
that one thing about a movie.
I remember that one thing.
But I'm the same way. I like to see an Ellen Ripley from Aliens kicking ass. I want to see Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2. That's
Yeah,
believable.
you believe that. Yeah. I mean, it drives me crazy. I mean, to cast someone just because they're pretty and then she's supposed to be, kicking everyone's butt, and it's like, no, I hate that.
But we agreed that at the beginning of Nemesis, some of those women look super badass.
They looked legit. Yeah.
Anyway, otherwise, this movie was a bit of a slog for us. I'm not going to lie. Some cool stuff, and then just ridiculous. I think the main guy, we looked him up, he was a French kickboxer or something.
Well, I even said to you, I said, who is he? Jean-Claude Van Damme?
That's right.
Well,
We looked him up, and they were trying to make him the next Van Damme, so
yeah,
of course.
of course.
I watched one other thing by myself last week called Sweet, Sweet, Lonely Girl. It's a horror movie on Shudder, and it's about a woman who goes to a Victorian home to take care of her aunt who is suffering from agoraphobia. And she meets a girl while she's staying there, another woman her age, early 20s-ish, something like that. And they start to misbehave. First, they're stealing from the aunt. Maybe they're not giving her the food they're supposed to, or instead of buying her prescriptions, they're keeping the money and buying her over-the-counter stuff. They're destroying some of her things downstairs, and their behavior quickly kind of goes out of control. And it's really shot like a much older film. It looks like one. It sounds like one. It really worked for me, but there really wasn't any horror until the last maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and then it really hits some cool notes. So I really like this movie. I probably would not recommend it to Jack. I can hear our dog squeaking a toy.
Yeah, I was trying to ignore it.
Our old blind dog. But anyway, anyone looking for something on Shudder, this is cool. It's only, I think, an hour and 16 minutes or so, counting credits, so you can kind of blast through it like an episode of TV. Sweet Sweet Lonely Girl on Shudder. And now, I figure before we really get going, do you think we should do a couple questions now, or do you think we should save them until we get done with the Annihilation discussion?
Maybe after Annihilation, because because it's a ticking time bomb up here. Like we're just losing memory as we sit here.
Okay, that works.
I mean, I could talk about what I watch.
Okay, yeah. What did you watch without me?
I've been on a kick lately of rewatching the Discovery Channel's Naked and Afraid. They have.
I can attest to that. You've been watching that a lot.
I've been watching the crap out of that. They're dropped somewhere, some supposedly difficult area to survive, and they have no food, no water, and no clothes. And they have to survive for 21 days, whatever that means. The only intervention is if it's medically needed. And by medically needed, it's like they're going to die, like some kind of weird fever, or they're having complete breakdowns, whatever it is. But I'm watching a lot of naked people run around, apparently.
I mean, it does tick all the boxes of something we would enjoy here. Lots of naked people.
Yeah.
Sometimes some pretty nasty injuries. A couple people got infections or whatever.
Yep.
A little bit of drama. It kind of hits the boxes.
Drama. Yeah.
A lot of naked people.
There's a lot of naked people.
It's pretty much about an hour of naked people every episode.
Pretty much. So I, binge watch that for like 4 hours. So it's like 4 hours of naked people.
Did you watch anything else up there while I'm down here toiling away?
I watch Jenna Marbles on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't really think that hits the same notes.
I don't think it's the same thing. And occasionally makeup videos, but that's not really the same thing either.
All right, let's jump into Annihilation.
We're moving on.
Well, you and I did watch most of a new Best of the Worst today, which
we did.
Those of you don't know, it's a channel on YouTube called Red Letter Media, and they watch bad movies and kind of shit on them, much in the same way we do in a much poorer version with So Bad It's Good. They're the A-list to our D-list, and they always find good stuff. So they're great. If anybody's ever interested in watching that kind of thing, check out Best of the Worst. You like
Definitely
it, right?
check them out. Oh my gosh, particularly the one guy, Rich Evans, his laugh is just perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's guaranteed he got a ton of shit in high school for his laugh.
Oh.
And now he's an internet star and everybody loves him because he has this crazy laugh.
It's crazy. Gotta check it out.
Alrighty, let's jump into a little Annihilation talk here, and then we'll get into some questions for you. And I'm wondering how much of them are going to be mean towards me. Probably.
I'm kind of hoping.
I'm guessing.
I mean, I do take joy when people make fun of you on my behalf.
No. You get joy when anyone makes fun of me for any reason.
That's true.
You think it's hysterical all the time. I'm surprised you don't just read my bad book reviews to me.
Oh.
You don't go that far. You just like.
I'm not that mean.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Annihilation.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay, so we decided last second to check this movie out because we'd heard really good things, and we'd already seen what we needed to watch for Final Guys this week. You watch everything with me that I talk about during this, and we'd already seen Veronica 2 weeks ago now. Yeah. So we decided to check this out and give me, I don't know, I guess we could try to describe it, but it's a little weird. You want me to do this?
Well, I mean, I can try, but I don't know at what point it becomes spoilers. Does it matter?
How about just the broad thing up until maybe they're in the shimmer for a little bit?
Okay. There's this, I don't even know if you want to say entity. I don't know, this wall of something that is expanding and consuming.
What the hell does that sound?
That would be the dog rolling in the blanket on the floor.
I didn't know what the hell that was.
She decided she's going to play right now.
It sounds lovely.
I'm sure.
So this thing fell out of the sky at the beginning. And
yeah, like a meteor came out of the sky, and from there, this shimmer. It's almost like a dome, just keeps expanding. And the scientists have been sending crews in to figure out what's in there and what's going on. And no one has returned except one person. He is not well, and they can't stop it. And it just keeps growing and growing. And so they send a team of women in.
You said that like, I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, I thought this was going to be a thing. So it had been men before. It had been ex-military, and they're sending in these teams, and then all of a sudden they made a team of women. I thought it was going to come into play. They had sent men, and now they're sending women. There was no mixed team, so I thought maybe it was important. And I was also a little nervous that it was going to be Ghostbusters-esque. So I was skeptical, but it was fine.
That was a pretty good synopsis. The only thing I would mention is that the guy who came back was married to Natalie Portman. Mm-hmm. And he gets very sick, and when they're taking him to the hospital, the government shows up and grabs him, and that's how she gets sucked into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she is a
biologist
professor for Johns Hopkins, I believe.
Johns Hopkins.
And so they can use her unique talents, and she was in the military also before the movie started. So that's how she gets sucked into it at the beginning. Mm-hmm. That was a pretty good synopsis. Not bad.
I'm surprised that came out of my mouth.
I want to come back to the Ghostbusters thing because I'm going to go on a rant here about that. But first, I want to get your initial gut reaction to the movie. How do you feel? Did you like it? What do you think?
My initial reaction is I liked it. It's one that I definitely need to watch again, because going into it, the first thing you said to me was, no, this is a cerebral kind of movie. So,
well, I assumed it was. I assumed it was because of the director. I assumed it was because of the director who had done Ex Machina before.
Oh, yeah.
So I just assumed it wasn't going to be, something like a Marvel movie or something you just watch and don't think about later.
Right. So knowing that you had said that, I knew in the beginning where there were conversations happening that there were probably some things I need to know, but I don't know where the value is yet. You just have a feeling they're dropping some things that are going to come into play later, but only in hindsight are you like, oh, that was probably important. So, it's there. It doesn't take away from the movie. It's not like I felt confused, but I feel like it would have deeper meaning if I go back and watch it again. My first impression, though, was it was beautiful. It was a stunning movie.
I thought about this today. I thought the special effects looked significantly better than the Black Panther movie.
Oh my gosh.
And it must have had a fifth of the budget or a third of the budget.
Hands down. It was so pretty to watch. Like I want to watch it again just to see all the visuals because it's amazing. It's a work of art the whole way through.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So you enjoyed it, but you feel like you need to watch it again to pick up more on it.
Yeah, and not that I left feeling like I was missing something, but I feel like I could get more out of it watching it a second time.
Oh, I'm with you 100% there. I've actually been thinking about it a lot today. I feel like they dropped a lot of stuff at the beginning that just in a regular movie is just, okay, that's what her job is, or that's their relationship. Right. But I think a lot of it was setting up what the story became.
I mean, specifics, like she was a biology professor of cell life, like the life of the cell, specifically that. And they made point of that time and time again, and replication and how they replicate. So it became important. We just didn't know yet.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of when she was talking about cancer cells and what they do to the body. That is a great example of what's happening inside of the shimmer in this movie.
Yes.
And I'm talking kind of vaguely because I'm with you. I don't want to spoil this movie for anyone. Mm-hmm. It goes to some really crazy places.
I mean, I remember watching, like not being able to take my eyes off the screen. And I said to you, if I'm not high, I should be high, because I don't know what I'm looking at.
And that's true. Very psychedelic. What were you
Very
saying it was?
psychedelic.
Fractal?
Fractal.
Some of the
Yeah, it
some of
was
the stuff.
fractal.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's the writer now? They're
That's not a
saying
word.
they're saying in the chat that there was a $40 million budget for Annihilation, which is very small for a movie with the kind of special effects
Oh,
that this
really?
has. Yeah. I do want to jump into a couple of scenes to maybe talk about more about how we felt about them, maybe not necessarily specifics, and how this really ties into horror in particular. So far, this had the most disturbing scene of any movie we've watched so far this year. Would you
I'm
agree?
pretty sure I'm thinking of the same one. Yeah.
There were
Yeah,
really two that was disturbing, but one was like, holy shit.
Well, and again, this movie would not let you stop watching. It was like you became, that's interesting. It's like you became possessed by this thing. Like you can't look away. And you know how I am. I do that.
Yeah, you cover your eyes a
Hand
lot.
in front of the eyes. Like tell me when it's over. I don't even mess with it. But I couldn't stop watching this scene. And like my stomach wanted to puke, but I can't stop watching. Because you had to find out what was going on.
Yeah, so it's kind of a setup as this team of scientists is going into the Shimmer. They start finding traces of the other teams that have gone before them, and the further they get, the more evidence they find of what happened, and then they start finding. I almost said videotapes. Jesus Christ, how old am I?
Well,
did you feed the horse before you came in?
I don't know.
Holy cow. Okay, so they find memory cards with video on it, and one of these has a very intense video clip on it that is just holy cow. It was disturbing.
Brutal.
Yeah. There's some really cool stuff they do with creatures. There's a crocodile that has multiple rows of teeth that leads them to start realizing that I can't remember which character says it, but it's kind of refracting light, the Shimmer is. So that's why when you look in, it looks weird in the Shimmer, but then inside it's also refracting DNA. So plants are starting to grow like humans, people are starting to get plant-like qualities, people's minds are starting to erode, they're starting to feel separate from their bodies, the animals are starting to morph, so the inside of this is just changing the planet in a crazy way. And it really starts with that alligator, and then it goes on to, again, I'm trying to really not spoil anything here, but there's a bear in it that makes a really disturbing sound and has an incredibly disturbing face. And that's a tough scene too.
That was tough.
Yeah, so that's good stuff. So we both liked it. So now it's time for my little rant. And
Brant rant alert.
it's time for a Brant rant. I haven't heard that in a while. You mentioned Ghostbusters. Now, I did not know going into this that this was a movie starring only women. There are 2 male characters for the most part, and they're barely in it. This is 4 women. Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson. Is that her name? I can't believe I'm forgetting it.
Bring up mine. You are correct.
Tessa Thompson, who was in
Tessa
Thor
Thompson.
Ragnarok. And I did not recognize the 4th woman, the paramedic. I can't think of her name. But it's essentially stars these 4 women. And 3 of them are scientists, and one of them's a paramedic, just a lowly paramedic. You know, that's how smart and tough these women are. And no one has ever mentioned this, as far as I know, in any reviews, I barely even heard of this movie. There was almost no advertising. No. 2 years ago, we had Ghostbusters rammed down our throats about being this empowering movie for women, and we all need to get behind it. And it turns out it was terrible. And they were making horrible jokes. You know, like they were making queef jokes and vagina jokes the whole time, and just like nobody liked that movie.
But you watched it?
I watched half of it.
Oh.
I didn't put you through it. I didn't finish it either. It's just lowest common denominator humor, and which I can like sometimes, but typically not when it's being rammed down my throat.
Right.
But here you have a movie that should be on everyone's list of you need to watch this. This is what women can do in movies and starring roles. And no one mentioned it at all.
No one.
Natalie Portman was a badass in this.
Totally.
And
Totally.
yet, nothing. We heard nothing. And this, to me, is the kind of movie that should be being elevated for this reason. Not crap like a Ghostbusters remake that no one cares about and no one wants to see. This movie was so smart at the end of it, we just sat there thinking, what the hell happened? What was that third act? I don't know how to interpret this.
Yeah.
But that gets ignored. So anyway, that was my little rant about how frustrating it is.
Well, as an example, what was the gun she picked up and you said that was the one your brother carried? I mean, it was huge.
Oh yeah, she picked up a
saw?
saw. Yeah.
Yeah, just you know.
But the rating was good because she said, "There's no way I could carry this."
That's right.
So she
That's
didn't take it with her. It's good,
That's
right?
right.
We didn't have to see Natalie Portman hip firing a saw.
Yeah, make me believe that Angelina Jolie can deadlift like 405. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not like that.
So anyway, that's what annoys me is we're hearing all this political stuff about this movie and that movie and blah, 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 blah. And here you get an incredibly intelligent film starring 4 women almost entirely. Nothing. Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
Pisses me off.
It should. Because it was so good. It was so good. And it wasn't it didn't feel cheesy. It didn't feel so scripted. I mean, it felt like this was the natural progression of things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This was, and the more we're talking about, the more I like this movie. And I'd like to at some point, I don't know if we should go into it deeper. Maybe if we want to do spoilers at the end, we should maybe talk about the third act.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because anyone who wants to ask you questions, I don't want them to leave as we as we talk about it. But I would really like to talk about the third act because things get confusing, beautiful, really interesting. I thought the third act was great, and it's what we can't talk about yet. So,
yeah.
Would you recommend this movie?
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah, me
I thought
too.
it was great.
I loved it. It's the kind of thing that should be getting released in theaters that people should be wanting to see, but instead we have to go see. Everybody's going to go see the new Star Wars. Everyone's going to go see Thor 74.
50 Shades Freed or whatever it's called.
Right. Exactly. These movies are huge and everyone wants to go see them. Look, we go see all the Marvel movies. We go see the Star Wars movies, even though each one is pissing me off more and more. So I shouldn't be talking that much, but these are the kinds of movies that I wish were getting a bigger push because
No hype.
Yeah, we could sit and talk about this for hours.
It was an amazing movie. Amazing movie.
The Tall One approved. Annihilation. Now, we should also say this movie only hit the theaters in the United States. Everywhere else in the world, it went straight to Netflix, which this movie, I guess, bombed at the box office here in the States, but I don't see how that can be surprising when people here in the States, anyone who pays attention to these things in the way I do, is going to be thinking, why am I going to pay $30 to take someone to see this when I can just wait a couple weeks and it'll probably be on Netflix because it's out everywhere else.
Well, and right, but the promotion the trailer, we didn't even know what it was about.
That is very true. We really had
it's Natalie Portman. That was it.
Exactly. We knew it was a Natalie Portman movie, and then we heard, I think on Rotten Tomatoes, that it was supposed to be really good.
Right.
And that's pretty much all we'd heard. We didn't see anything else. We go see a lot of movies, and we saw no trailers before any movie.
Nothing. I actually saw it on Instagram. Somehow it popped up, and I was very annoyed, but then it turned out to be okay.
You're very annoyed at the ad on Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go see a lot of horror movies. We go to see all the big movies, too. Nothing. I think we saw a poster at the movie theater one time for it, and that was it. So, big fail. What's that dog doing?
The dog, she's sitting at my feet, making her goofy noises when she wants something.
Mm-hmm.
She wants me to hold her.
Oh, well, need to do that then. Old blind
Spoiled.
dog.
Yeah.
All right, before we jump into the questions for you, I'll give you a little rundown here. So Sheridan in the comments always goes over how many times we hit our drinking words. And
All right.
we've been doing this for 35 minutes, and we have 23 so far.
How's that for a normal episode?
That seems really high. So
Alien.
if anyone is actually playing this, they're dead. Enjoy your hospital stay.
I love my dogs.
Yeah. Now you're just being a dick like I am every week. All right. Anyone in the chat, if you want to hit up some questions here while I go over a few that were in Facebook, have at it. I'll try to get around to them. I don't think there were too many here, so this shouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
First up, Sheridan Bradford asks, can you please replace one of Jason's bumper transitions with 30 seconds of instructor-led calisthenics? The average BMI for Final Guys and fans is probably 35%, and my ass is numb by halftime on Tuesdays.
Sure.
So
we can do that.
We need a Final Guys plus girl calisthenic bumper.
It'd be curls. It would just be like...
Oh yeah. 16-ounce curls. So for anyone who only listens to this and doesn't know anything about me, which is probably everyone, you are a personal trainer. He must have known that, and that's why he's asking you to...
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Pamela, who I believe I saw in the chat a little while ago, says, I'd like more details on this tall thing. Does this pertain to a tall drink of water, a tall bottle of beer, or perhaps more along the lines of a coffee order? Precisely how tall is tall?
So, yes, to all of those.
Tall beer, tall coffee.
That's right. Yeah, so I guess the question is my height, right? Is that what the question is?
Sure. I guess how did you get the nickname? And it's just, yeah, 'cause of your height.
Well, I mean, as much as I don't like to be in front of camera, I think for a long time you weren't really using my name.
Right.
I'm
a horror author, so there's a lot of weirdos.
So it just seemed appropriate to call me the tall one because I am 6 feet tall.
6 feet tall. That's a huge woman.
So
yeah. So that's it.
But a tall beer and a tall coffee works great too.
There you go. That way. Then there was some discussion about how tall exactly you are. So there you go, people. 6 feet. And they said, I mentioned my height in an episode. Did I?
Did you?
I must have.
Yeah, you're 6'3".
I'm 6'3". Gigantic.
You're huge.
I'm huge. I'm huge and fat. Let's see. We have... When Jason told you about the cover art requirements for The Hunger #4, was there any hesitation over shaving your head? So I guess he's making a joke about how you look like Cass in some of the images.
Oh.
I was just giving you shit if I'd have to shave your head. Sheridan, you're weird, man.
Well, I mean, I have done some pretty wacky things with my hair. I don't know that that's too far out of the realm of possible.
Yeah, actually, the one thing you haven't done is come home with a shaved head.
I have not shaved my head yet.
What color is your hair now?
It's like orchid purple or whatever that is. Not to be confused with Raven's purple, but orchid purple.
Orchid purple. There's a difference.
That's right.
Yeah, you've come home blonde. You've come home with purple hair, gray hair, silver hair. Is that what you call it?
Silver, blue tipped. I've had stripes in it, not like highlight, but like horizontal stripes in it. I've had
black,
magenta pink, every shade of purple, all the blue. I mean,
listen to the Final Guys horror podcast going into my wife's hair.
Are the guys listening in horror just like, she's talking about makeup and her hair and
probably
she's going downhill real fast.
Who cares? Also, what is your favorite tattoo?
My own?
Sure. For
of my own?
Who don't know, you have how many?
I have three. Okay, sappy moment. My favorite one is the one on my forearm.
Can you show it?
Oh. I forget I'm on. camera. Can you see that?
Well, it's mostly people listening, but you've got a clock in there. You've got
There's a clock. There's a dogwood flower and a rose, with the words "Beauty thus become."
which is from a song from our,
Yeah, did you know that was in there?
our courting. Yeah, yes. We are married. So that's a big one that covers your forearm.
Pretty much all my forearm.
And you've got
That's
two
probably
on
my
your
favorite
leg.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
For anyone who's curious, she also has a giant one on her back of a phoenix. It's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Thank you.
It also costs about as much as a car, so it should look good.
Better look good. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Any other questions in here? Just asking about drinking rules.
Dog.
They were wondering if the show was actually going to start on time because Jack and Hunter aren't here, and the answer is yes.
Brants aren't late.
Brants aren't late. That's one thing that absolutely drives me crazy. All right, let me check the chat here quick. All right. Oh, they were saying that the budget for Black Panther was $200 million, so 5 times the budget, and it did not look as good. So
Don't get me wrong, it was pretty cool, but Annihilation was beautiful.
Yeah, that was the thing. Black Panther was a good movie, but something like Annihilation I enjoyed much more, and it certainly looked better, which is just weird.
I mean, I could talk about the things I liked in the Black Panther, but Annihilation was just so pretty to watch.
All right, here we go. Okay, they're laughing about you saying Brants aren't late, and here's the one where all the final guys shut this off and the final girls keep going. What makeup gurus does the tall one watch on YouTube?
Oh my gosh. So I don't watch. Well, there's one girl. There's one that I really like who's not really makeup, but maybe skincare, and it's the Gothamista. Her name is Renee. She's on YouTube, and I think she's great.
I can always tell when you've been watching those because you subscribed under my account, so you can watch them on the TV. Yeah. So I'll have horror movie shorts recommended to me, bad movies recommended to me, movie reviews, and then how to take care of your skin as a young Asian male or whatever.
They're right.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's another girl that will be popping up. Her name is Jackie Anya. I don't know how to say her last name, but I like her a lot because I just think she's funny. So she's pretty great. Well,
you like this. That Sheridan's giving us a running count of how many people are watching, and it's actually going up as you're talking about makeup.
So there's going to be a change here on the final, guys.
For God's sake.
I think maybe I should do your makeup at some point.
No, I think we'll pass.
No.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you a couple questions too, just because you and I have talked about at some point maybe doing some, I don't know, of the staff picks episodes or something, because I feel like the three of us get very dude oriented at times, and it would occasionally help to have a couple females jump on and give their perspective on different things. So if we were to do a staff pick episode on a horror movie and it was your choice, what one would you pick?
My choice.
Yes.
Can it be one I've seen?
Yeah. It's one of your favorites, whatever you would want to talk about.
Well, the one that we watch probably 80 million times is, can't remember the name, of course, now because I feel on the spot. What is it? Don't tell me. Silent Hill.
Yes, your favorite horror movie that you don't know the name of.
We watched that multiple times.
You usually like to watch it every Halloween if we have time to get it in.
Yeah.
You pick that, and I always pick The Thing.
Yes. And for the same reason, visuals have a huge impact on me, and I like the visuals in that movie a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do too. It's a movie that got a lot of hate at the beginning.
Really?
At the beginning, at release. Yeah, it didn't do very well. I think it did okay at the box office, but I don't believe it was critically loved. I think people have kind of come around on it, but I think the visuals in that movie are great. I love the story. The only weak part, and we kind of mention this every time we watch it, is the end. In the church, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but even that being said, I still pick it every time, every year.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was the one you were gonna say because it's the one you want to watch every October.
All the time. Right.
Let's see. We've got Audra in the chat saying we should do a staff pick on The Exorcist sometime. Now you've watched The Exorcist.
I have watched The
Do you remember?
Exorcist. I remember some of it. Like the iconic scenes and the one that like got it in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a lot, but the one in particular.
The one.
The religious types weren't so happy about that.
That one.
That's the one you're thinking of?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
I figured.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other questions can we ask you so that if you do jump in every now and then, people can get a feel for where you're at in the genre. So you obviously watch all this shit that I make you watch.
Yeah.
Now, how much of it would you say you would watch on your own if I wasn't around?
Oh. Well, you're my Google, you're my Wikipedia. So I don't look things up on my own. I just ask you. So if I will judge a movie by its cover. And how many times have I said, that cover's stupid? Nope, that title's dumb.
Which is great because you're married to an author.
I am 100% on the title and the cover. I wouldn't give half those movies a chance if you didn't say, well, no, the ratings are pretty good. Maybe we should check it out. Or if the description of the movie is written poorly, I'm like, nope, don't want to watch it. That sounds stupid.
So you would watch some of the classics. Like you always want us to watch Hitchcock and go back and watch some of the more classic films. But you probably wouldn't wade through a lot of the shit I make you wade through.
No, that's safe to say.
So basically, you like good movies and not bad movies.
But I would not be able to find the good movies on my own.
Okay, well, the internet may change that a little bit, but yes, I do make you watch a lot of that stuff. We just got another question. Silent Hill is your number one. What are 2 other movies in your top 10? We can help with titles if you do charades.
Oh, I know. Should I do charades?
No, just say it.
Oh, Star Wars.
Should I do charades?
I was trying to think of something really funny to do, like a lightsaber battle. But no, the original Star Wars movies are my ones that I always tell you we should watch Star Wars.
We've watched those a few times, yes.
Yeah, so I count those as 1. I don't get to count those as 3.
Yeah, okay. Do you have another one?
I'm sure I do.
What about something a little more horror oriented?
Horror oriented.
I know you always like when we watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 78 version.
That's your pick.
Oh, I thought you really liked it too. I've just been making you deal with it?
No, I mean it's good, but I'm trying to think of something. I always tell you I want to watch something that makes me think, something I have to guess.
Psychological.
Very psychological. This is not what I would put in my top 10, but Michael Douglas movies, they're like all the same. Like
The Game.
Yes, yeah, like that.
Michael Douglas movies are. They usually are. He's usually getting screwed over by a woman somehow and has to fight his way out of it.
Right, but I love those. They're crazy, but the women are always crazy, and he plays kind of the same guy. But I like all of them.
You seem to really like David Fincher movies, which are Seven.
I love Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight Club.
You like? Yes, exactly. Fight
Fight
Club.
Club.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You really like things like that.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Not gory. I don't do gore.
I think the only one I really make you watch that's super gory is The Thing.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. That's not like gore porn. It doesn't feel like that.
You don't like torture.
So it's okay. I don't like torture.
Torture, right? Because Silent Hill has a lot of gory stuff in it.
Skin gets ripped off. Yeah.
Yeah. So
doesn't get much better than that.
Alrighty, I think we're running out of questions here. So again, we don't know if you'll ever be back on here or not, but we'll throw it out there. What do you people think watching and listening? Would you like us to have a few women in here every now and then to maybe give a perspective that's not super idiot centric, like we always say?
Yeah.
So let us know. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe not a live episodes, or maybe live episodes, maybe staff picks. Who knows? We'll figure
Or
it out.
maybe it could be sometime we do a special recording on a Friday after I've had a few beers, and you'll be very entertained.
Oh God. I'm thinking you would make me delete that episode fairly shortly afterwards.
You're good.
Actually, for everyone listening, if you ever watch So Bad It's Good, my lovely wife has now taken over the editing duties on that show, which is why it doesn't suck anymore. It looks a lot better. But in this one that's going to come out, what do you think, tomorrow? Finish it tomorrow?
I hope so. Yes, tomorrow. We'll put a stamp on it tomorrow.
Finish it tomorrow. You can hear her in the background quite a bit, and you can see me getting pretty annoyed. And then there's the one part where you're talking. It's like, oh, someone was hitting the double IPAs behind the camera while we were filming.
It's obvious.
It's very obvious. So, all right. People are saying in the chat that yes, it seems we should have some more women on, particularly you. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I appreciate it.
I got to tell you, I think you've done pretty damn good for your first one. You speak better than I do, and I'm at episode 46 or whatever the hell it is.
Well, that was very nice of you to say. But what did I tell you 3 minutes before we came on? I'm going to pee my pants.
That's verbatim. You were pretty nervous. Well, before we go, since we said we would do spoilers at the very end, do you want to talk about the third act of the movie quick? Like what
Sure.
your interpretation of it was?
Yeah. Oh, my interpretation.
Both of us. So anyone who doesn't want this movie spoiled, check out now. We're only going to talk for a couple minutes, but the ending of this movie's crazy, and I want to see what she thinks. So if you're leaving, we appreciate it. We will be back next week with Veronica. The two monkeys should also be in here with me, so we'll see you next week. If you want to stay for the discussion, here we go. So at the end, there is a doppelganger of her, which is something we've seen happen earlier in the movie with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like she makes it out until the last shot. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Did you think that was her or not?
So I wasn't sure. Because... Can I say what it was? Like, can I just talk?
We're in full spoiler mode, so do your thing.
Okay. So at the very end, the being, the body that you perceive as her husband, but we now know is his duplicate. I think they were calling them duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
It's an exact copy of her husband. He just doesn't have the memories that her husband had. So there's a color change in his eye that you see, and then they flash over to her face, and you see the color change in her eye. Now, that being said, they also talked about when you're in the shimmer, it becomes a part of you. So and she looked at her blood in a microscope while they were in some station in the shimmer, and she said, "It's in me." So they have that. So you could infer either way, I think, because she came out of the shimmer, but she said it's in her, but we don't know if it's her or the duplicate, or we don't know. But I think that's the point.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think some people are going to be like, oh, it's the duplicate, and some people are going to say, no, it's her, but the shimmer, or whatever you want to call it, is now part of her, because they kept saying the whole time they could feel it. The one woman's fingertips were moving. Another woman seemed to turn into a plant. So
her fingerprints, her fingerprints were changing.
What did I say?
Fingertips, I think.
Oh, well, that would sound about stupid enough for me to say.
Same thing.
So there was a lot of things going on like that. So I thought that ending, the way they did it, was super cool. I appreciated that there was just enough that you could take it however you wanted. But I also was wondering if the alien just wants to become a part of the race or take it over, making it look like everything was destroyed is a good way to infiltrate, because they think everything's destroyed, but she made it out. If she's actually one of them, she would be able to duplicate in secret or whatever the plan was. Because I thought it was weird that when the duplicate is set on fire, it basically walked around the whole structure, setting everything on fire on purpose.
It did. And that's why I was confused, because it was distracting. Now, that being said, there was a speech in the beginning of the movie about cells being programmed for self-destruction. So there was all this talk that about cells and how they behave, and then they just took that from a cell level up to the human, to the greater, like animals and plants, and they took it to that level. So I think we were supposed to put that together. So I don't know that it was that. I don't know that that was. I don't know what that was. I don't know that that was her or
no
the duplicate.
I'm 100% with you. I don't know, and I feel like we need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
When it comes out on Netflix, I'd like to watch it in the theater in our basement because I feel like we'd be able to see things again clearly. So I don't know. There was so much talk about cancer. There was talk about duplicates. There was
DNA.
Yeah, a lot of DNA talk.
All this stuff, and I'm like,
Not smart
oh
enough to watch the movie.
man.
And I thought they did some cool stuff too with on-the-nose foreshadowing. They said everyone who goes in, we don't know if they are killed, if they go crazy or kill each other or what. And everything they said, we think it could be this or this or this. It's actually all of the above.
Yep.
So cool stuff there too.
It was, whoa, man.
Okay, I think we're about done here. We're up to 29 drinks with more shimmers and DNA. So, and there's 2 more. So now you're averaging about 1 every 2 minutes. So enjoy your hospital stay, people. Well, congrats on getting through your first podcast.
I made it. I made it.
You did better than me, and you didn't even shit on me that much, which a little surprising.
I didn't. I need to get more comfortable.
See, I plan to take it easy on you just for your first time. From here,
I need to get more. I need to get more comfortable. Yeah.
Well, we definitely need to get you a mic too. I'm curious to hear how this sounds with Last Minute, but it looked and sounded better than I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good.
So, you did great. We're out of here, people. Oh, now we're up to 31. We're out of here, people. We may or may not do a staff pick coming up here soon. We'll let you know. But next week we will be back for Veronica on Netflix. Guaranteed. It's happening. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Anything I want to say?
Yes.
It's been fun.
Follow me on Instagram and at
Instagram and Twitter. I'm not on Twitter.
Do you? Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter or Snapchat.
Yeah, don't follow her.
I post pictures of the dogs.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Dogs and when people don't put carts back at the grocery store.
Oh my gosh. Hashtag put the cart back.
All right, final guy plus final girl is out of here. We will catch you guys next week.
Out. See ya.
Game over, man.